and also to recognise everyone who's come along today to show their support for community facilities that have, over the past few years, not had the support and the love that they need to be able to be used. So thanks a lot everyone for coming along, and I hope you have a good time today. But before we continue, I'd like to introduce Norman Armstrong, who's going to tell you a bit about the White House and about cycling in the Maryhill area.
I run a charity called Freewheel North, and our principal purpose is to get this city more active. I've seen photographs of Maryhill Park from 100 years ago, and on a Sunday this park will be heaving with activity, with football and any kind of sport you could think of. In the past 100 years we've united in community. As far as we're concerned, cycling is a great way of bringing community together and redressing that balance of inactivity. Glasgow happens to be, I'm afraid to say, the most inactive city in the developed world, and that's going to show itself in the form of obesity and diabetes going forward. So what we're trying to do is to establish cycling facilities throughout the city, and our particular project in regards to this is opening the White House as a cycling and hire centre. That would be a fantastic place for cycling. People could come along on a Sunday and hire a bike, go along the canal, especially disabled people, because that's a group in the community we most represent. Cycling is normally thought of as a kind of high-powered sport, but in fact people with disabilities have a great demand for cycling, and we prove that in our Glasgow Green Cycling Centre, and a kind of machine that you can see. If you just look over there, we've got one of our special needs machines just there, and that's companion cycling. That means someone with a disability can get a shot at cycling, and if they've got use of their legs they can pedal, and if they've not, they don't have to, because you've got a companion to do it for you. The big problem in this city is the resistance we find from the authorities. It's like trying to get through a brick wall, trying to engage with Glasgow City Council and Glasgow Life. I'm actually in a legal battle with the council at the moment, as we're trying to establish a passenger rickshaw service in the city centre, and they're trying to stop it. So we're actually at the Sheriff's Court later next month to try to make that happen. Hopefully we'll win the case, but I'm not that optimistic, to be honest. The authorities tend to be largely against cycling in the city. But you've got to remain optimistic. There is a great demand at grassroots level for the community to cycle and participate in an activity. We've just got to capture that energy and be optimistic and just try and go forward.
Okay folks, let's hear it for Norman Armstrong. Something else to note today is that while the facilities are anything but what we would like to see, there has been some progress.
Hey, well done.
So hopefully that can continue and the facilities can be improved. Now I'm going to introduce Stephen, who's going to tell you about this issue.
Hi. Thank you all very much for coming. I really appreciate that. Nick's point about how thriving it was 100 years ago and how empty it is now is a very powerful one. I find it absolutely amazing that 100 years ago we had more and we have less now. I'm going to tell you a little story about professionalism in sport. Just bear with me. I hope that this doesn't bore you too much. We had Alberto Salazar, Frank Shorter and Bill Rogers in America. They were the best runners on the planet. No one could these guys were all going under 2:05 for a marathon. They were brilliant. Then they started professionalizing sport, making it all to the very high end. So what happens in 20 years? No marathoners in America. They're all gone. We had one in 2004 that ran 2:14. The idea that you can have professionalism in sport and have people using sport is counterintuitive. Amateurs. I really want more amateur sports. That's what I'm after. Getting communities together safely. I'm not saying that people should be going head into rugby or throwing the javelin without specialists, but if we're doing tennis, softball, just getting communities together. That's what I'm about. And I hope that that message can be heard by the powers to be so that we can get more activities going. Okay? Thank you very much for coming.
Yeah. So let's see everyone here today to support physical activity and sport in the Maryhill area.
How are you doing, guys? What are you doing here today?
Supporting ASAP and getting against Glasgow Life. We don't agree with what they're saying, basically.
Well, he's helped to clean up the park.
Helping to clean up the park, helping to clean up the tennis courts, getting the community back together so we can get into sports. We can actually do the sports without anything stopping us.
So what are you doing? Are you working with this group just now?
I work with Stephen, yeah, I'm in the schools teaching the sports.
All right.
And I do the meetings and I do all the things like that with them.
Association now.
This looks like North Kelvin Meadows here. Come to the event. How are you doing?
Not too bad, Bob. Good to see you.
How's the Meadows doing?
We're at the stage just now of still waiting for a planning application to go in, but there's absolutely no sign of it. There's been a survey done on the land recently, we believe, but what does that mean? Does it mean they're actually going to do something? Don't know.
So you're just here to support this event?
We are. We think we've got some things in common with the people that are here. Our piece of land that we're trying to look after is an abandoned football pitch and tennis court as well, albeit one that was left to go to even more rack and ruin than this one, but it's now become, because it's been looked after the community, it's become a green space where people like to hang out. But things that we've tried to do in the past to make it a nicer place for people to spend time in have been frowned on by the council, and we haven't been given support in maintaining it in the way that we'd like to.
What do you make of the idea of the council kind of trying to stop this event from happening today, then changing their mind and letting it go on?
I'm afraid I think it's entirely typical of their attitude to anything that's come from a community itself. If it doesn't have the council's rubber stamp, I'm afraid the council and its organisations like the ALIOs, like Glasgow Life, seem to get upset if it's not something that's come from them originally. This is something that we're noticing all over the city.
Yeah, that's exactly what I put in city strolls. It's just this idea about, you know, it's like a kind of neoliberal thing is, yeah, you can have these things in your community so long as we do them for you. When we decide they're needed and when we decide, you know, so it's if it's an attempt to stop people just for doing things, because obviously it's out of control.
Yeah, I think the second that the word police is mentioned, people feel threatened by that, and that's why it's said, even though it's utterly ludicrous. The police are not going to come along and harangue people here. It's just not going to happen. But the minute that the word is mentioned, it puts a doubt in people's minds, and they think, oh well, I won't get involved with that thing, even though it's something I really believe in. And I think it's very poor show from the council and its organisations to do that.
It keeps people away from the place because, you know, yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, you spend all your time trying to get people to engage in the community, and you get the council telling them they can't do it.
Well, I'm hoping that we might have a little change this week in our local government. That might make a change. I'm hoping so anyway. I mean, we've been trying to engage with the candidates in our ward to see what their response. It's quite noticeable. 8 out of the 12 candidates have responded to us. Of all of those 8, all of them have been positive to our campaign and our requirements to keep the land as an open space. What's very noticeable is, at this point anyway, both Labour candidates and the former Labour candidate have failed to respond to us. So maybe suggests that we need to vote somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, according to Hustings, people tend to be getting a bit fed up. You know, just, I mean, they know not a lot's going to happen, but I think they're getting to the point now where they're going to feel as if they're going to have to make things happen themselves.
Yep.
you know, they're going to have to basically just start doing things because there's nothing happening for the other end. How are you doing?
My name's Wendy.
Wendy.
I'm doing well.
Eh?
I'm doing well.
Have you enjoyed tidying up the tennis court?
I've enjoyed meeting people. I think I haven't really been, no. I've been looking at other people and I'm impressed. I'll applaud their efforts. But I think the key sort of learning thing from today, from my point of view, has been the networking side of it. On the fringes of the Meadow campaign. And it was just through a Facebook feed that they flagged up this was happening, and just finding out about that and being able to come along and seeing the potential of spaces like this in Glasgow, and getting people feeling empowered so they can get involved to do something. And I'll probably get more involved in the Meadow as a result.
I've been staying the past 2 and a bit years in the Wynford and Maryhill. I'm involved in like community groups there, like the Residents Association I'm involved with. It's a Wynford Residents Association, I'm currently the chair of that. I'm involved in the community council locally, in the Wynford District Community Council, and also a group called Green Gorillas, which is like a kind of local community group which is trying to bridge the gap between sort of the old generation and the youths in the area as well. Good day, good weather. Yeah, they're doing good work. It's good that it's getting the publicity, because I think Steve's been doing these things for quite a number of years now, and sometimes there's always not a great turnout, but definitely you've got 2 groups of people together today. People on the bikes, people doing the pitches. So yeah, it's good. That's why I first got to know Steve down projects. Bob was involved there as well. Down at the Wynford, he was sorting out some football pitches there. So they're well aware of his work as well. So yeah, thank you, cheers, thanks.
It's been a good event. I hope that you can continue, you know, because one-off's not enough. It needs to continue. Yeah, just need more organisation, I think. Yeah, get more people actually doing stuff, because there's not enough tools. Yeah.
Look what I got out of the bucket.
Oh.
It's the beginning of summer.
Yeah, hopefully. I know. I'll see anything the next morning. Thank you.
I am Steve's wife, so I have absolutely lived and breathed it for the last 7 years, and I support him 150%. It's just well, the thing is, I mean, to be honest, one of the main reasons I really support him is because I'm a child psychiatrist and I know how unhappy our kids are. And I just know from my own kids how much they just, especially when they're in the late teens, well, kind of mid to late teens, they've just got to have something to do. Got to have a purpose in life. They've got a bit of competition, you know. These adults to be interested in them. And I think that's one of the big problems in our society at the moment, is that we've actually stopped being interested in teenagers. You know, we walk past them in the street, we don't even look them in the eye.
I think people have got used to this idea that teenagers live in another world, which is not the case. They live in this world. It's us that's invented that world for them, but they don't really.
I think that's right, and I think they want to be part of the world. I mean, I find if you actually look teenagers in the eye and talk to them, you know, generally have a really interesting conversation. Yeah. So one of the things that Steve's done as part of ASAP from time to time is he's had teenagers who are involved in the sports programmes actually coming down and helping with renovating the pitches. And they love it, absolutely love it. You know, I mean, particularly I think teenage boys and girls just like to get, they like to get a bit sweaty and get involved, and they like to feel they contribute to something, to be honest. So.
Alia.
And what are you doing here? You come to help?
I came to help out. Yeah.
Have you been helping out?
Yes.
What were you doing?
I was just scraping the moss off there. I was picking up loads of litter over there before you came.
Ah, before I came.
Yeah.
Do you play tennis?
No. I like doing outdoor work.
You like doing outdoor work?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. My name's Fiona.
You enjoying the day?
Yeah, brilliant. I'm just trying to get up enough glass that the dog and the wee man can run about safely, and he's picking up stuff as well. Rather a lot of glass, yeah. The kids have been good as well. They're starting to pick up and everything, so shouldn't take long to have it street legal. It has.
It's nice to come together to feel connected and to kind of share that enthusiasm. We're here because I think it's important that we protect these services in local communities, and that Glasgow Life has not been acting in a responsible way or a way that's in touch with the community in any meaningful sense for a long time.
Well, I used to work as a landscape gardener up in Bankery in Aberdeenshire, which I was just talking about there. So yes, that was an experience. Now I'm putting it to good use by.
I thought they were going to get a grass court, but if they build it up and put the nets up again, it'll be good. So.
Thomas Guthrie, Kieran Smith. I think it's a good thing to do. It's good for the community. Like everybody's come together and try to help out, get stuff to do for the younger kids.
I'm very well today, thanks. I'm here today. A big issue for me is sort of housing and green space and how that interacts. I used to live down George's Cross and I've lived up Postle, and we faced a lot of issues there around the regeneration that was going on, and the way that the money for that regeneration wasn't really going into the communities, the people. It was going into maybe the buildings a wee bit, but not into the people. We've got this big development just down there at Maryhill Locks, which is a key development for the council. And to me, it seems like, you know, the lack of care for green space like this is maybe part of a development agenda. And so really, I'm here to call for more investment into the real heart of our communities, into the parks, the facilities, and the people that actually live in our communities in Glasgow. I think there's maybe a new optimism, a new sense of hope in Scotland. We've been having a lot of fresh political debates. We've been having a lot of change in Glasgow, and I think that people have a sense that if they really want change, that they have to go out and do it themselves. You know.
Hi Steve, you happy with the day's gone?
I am over the moon with the way that today's gone. You can see the guys are still out there cleaning up the steps. Absolutely fantastic. And as Obama says, I look forward to shaking anyone's hands that's not clenched in a fist. Hopefully we'll be able to develop a much better relationship with other parties like Glasgow Life and Glasgow City Council and Sports Scotland, and be able to get amateur coaches the status, legitimacy and status that they deserve. Okay, fantastic day.